Brooke, Corey, Hearn, and Rhonda are nominated for double eviction, but Steven holds the Topaz power veto, and he must use it. What will he do? Find out now on Big Brother Cheesecake 6 Hockey Sticks. Hello, I'm Andrew Shevsik Moonves. Welcome to Big Brother Cheesecake 6 Hockey Sticks. It's day 74 inside the Big Brother Cheesecake house, and this week Steven is the head of household in a double eviction week. He nominated Brooke, Corey, Hearn, and Rhonda for eviction. And Steven also won the Topaz Power Veto in the Big Brother King of the Castle Topaz Power Veto competition. Who will he use it on? We'll find out shortly. But first, today, or yesterday rather, was one of the best days of my life, and definitely the best day of 2021. And it's funny how the best and worst day of 2021 happened within this season. It's been a wild ride, and I'll speak to it more at the end of the season when I sort of do like a wrap up. But yeah, I've definitely done a 180 from where I was weeks 1 and 2 when I was feeling really, really, really down. So yeah, feeling much, much better. Yeah, it's been like a roller coaster. Speaking of roller coasters, I'm still annoyed that Wonderland got rid of Skyrider. I know it's been like 5 years, but I still can't get over it. I love that roller coaster because it was the one where you were standing up. And that would be my favorite. I would always go on it. It never had a long lineup. And so all the guys would complain that it would like hurt their nuts because of you had to stand on this sort of platformy thing. I was always tall enough that my happy place was always well above the platform, even when they put it all the way up. But who cares? Enjoy the vibrations. Pretend you're at an S&M club. Come on, it's fun. I don't know. I always love that ride. I think, too, when you're sitting in a roller coaster, you can't seem to, at least for me, you don't have as much control of your body, so the ride whips you back and forth and up and down, and you always feel sore at the end. I mean, I'm also 6'5", so sitting in any coaster, besides maybe Top Gun or whatever the hell they call it now. I hate the name changes. Unless it's like Top Gun Top Gun, I don't even know if I'm allowed to go on anymore. It's been so long. I know they don't allow me on there's a kids version of Top Gun, Silver Spear or whatever. I'm too tall for that. And Top Gun, I'm literally, yeah, that's what it was. I'm literally right on the border for Top Gun. And so I'm not going to take the chance that my legs are going to get chopped off by some ride. So anyway, when you're sitting, you don't have as much control of your body. So I'm 6'5", and you feel, I don't know, you get sore. Whereas in Skyrider, you're standing, and so you're able to kind of enjoy the movement more. I don't know. I always love that. I always look for, if I'm in a foreign place like Six Flags or foreign, if I'm in an amusement park outside of Canada, I always look for standing up roller coasters because I just find them more ergonomic. Because that's what you look for when you go to an amusement park, is ergonomic rides. Do they have obus form seats? Yeah. Okay, so Amy said I should be a food critic. I should just be a critic, period. Like Andy on The Office. That painting is bad. This pudding is bad. Okay, so let's face the facts. I normally don't just give out spoilers for what's coming. Tomorrow, Sunday, that's when the house guests agreed to have the head of household competition for the final 4. It's going to be Sunday at 1 p.m. on Messenger. I'm not going to put the rules in this episode because I don't want anybody to be able to strategize or practice too much. It's going to be tomorrow. Steven is outgoing head of household. You're not eligible to compete. I brought it to the house guests' attention. I had them vote, but nobody actually really voted. They changed the subject to Colonel's popcorn, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Um, yeah, more food to talk about. I'm so sorry. Sidetrack. Popcorners got rid of the jalapeno flavor and the butter flavor. So annoyed. So annoyed. And then Karen goes to Colonel's and gets double butter popcorn. And she goes in the group chat and goes, I don't know what double butter is. And I'm like, why'd you buy something not knowing what it is? That's like the people, some of the most annoying passengers, they get on the bus and they say, I don't know where I'm going or where I want to go. And I'm like, then why are you getting on a bus? Like, you're supposed to have a destination if you get on the bus. They just get on and they say, I don't know where I want to go. Well, I'm not a tour guide. Like, tell me where you want to go and I can take you. So, anyway. So Colonel's, yeah. So Cheesecake Factory got rid of my favorite cheesecake, Nutella cheesecake. They got rid of peppermint cheesecake, which was in my top 10. Then Popcorners gets rid of jalapeno and butter. Karen's buying stuff not knowing what it is. Yeah. So Tiffany actually entered the house because Tiffany loves Colonel's. And I had her explain that double butter means it's like caramel, but not as sweet, and it's more salty. So it's double butter, but it has nothing to do with butter. Like, so then I asked Tiffany, so snow goes up now? Like, what is the world coming to in 2021? Okay, so where was I talking about? Head of household is tomorrow at 1. I asked the house guest, do you want to have the eviction before or after the competition? Normally, in Big Brother Cheesecake, what makes this unique, besides the fact that I'm a demented psycho nutcase, is that the head of household comes before the eviction, so somebody who is about to be evicted could win head of household, which has still never happened in 6 seasons. Still, to this day, has never happened. But I decided, because it's pretty obvious which 2 house guests are about to be evicted, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, that there's no point in doing that when we know they're going. So I'm going to have the eviction in the group chat for the house guests Sunday morning. They will join the jury house, the 2 evicted house guests, Sunday morning, and then we'll have the competition at 1. And I'm busy Sunday morning anyway, so the episode for tomorrow is going to air in the evening. So Marcin, Curtis, and Jojo, my 3 viewers, the episode for tomorrow will air in the evening. And Jojo asked what I edited out of yesterday's episode. I just said that it's funny how the pretty people are the ones that whine and complain the most. It's true. Like, look at Curtis. Like, whines like the Bible. Everything is a complaint. Actually, that's not true. He doesn't complain that much. But it's funny because Brenda, I don't know why I was thinking this, but Brenda in season 4 had a problem with Curtis and said he was mansplaining a lot, which when I think of mansplaining, I think of this. And so I didn't get that. And now I realize what she means by that. Curtis talks a lot. I have a running joke with Brazil and Nicole where he talks the Bible because he just goes on and on and on. And I think she took talking a lot as mansplaining, when really mansplaining is being a chauvinistic pig and thinking that women are, thinking you should talk down to women. That's what mansplaining is. So I think that's where Brenda got confused and that she didn't know what that meant. But whatever, she's in Sarnia now, so I'm sorry, but Sarnia I was there once and never again. Okay, so what was I talking about again? Sorry, this is like the 8th tangent. The competition. So we're going to have the eviction tomorrow before the head of household, yeah, and then the episode will air. So, I planned this season way in advance. This season was planned like a year in advance. And even though, because of my mental health, I thought I would shorten the season, so I had a plan B, we reverted, and we are still on plan A in terms of the schedule. When I planned this, I planned a double eviction at Final 6, 3 people voting, one of whom is the alumni. I thought this was going to be such a juicy, spicy week where one of the 3 votes you don't even know, it could be a 3-0-0 tie, it could be a 3-way tie, or it could be a 2-1-0 vote. And everybody, it's going to be so like, it's going to be twisty, and everyone's going to be, and ooh, and ooh, and ooh. And as soon as the veto was done, everybody knew what was going to happen. So, Mbop, as in Hanson, Mbop, ba-doop-da-ba, doom, bop, Dooba ba ba doom ba. Dooba da ba ooh. Whoa yeah. Ba. Oh yeah. Ba. Da 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 ba. Dooba da da ooh. Oh. Okay. They were formed after Jit was evicted because Corey and Rhonda were blindsided by the Jit eviction. Royally blind. Probably one of the biggest blindsides in 6 seasons. I can't even think of. Yeah. Yeah. And so, well, with the exception maybe Joanne in season 2 when Chanel and Ashley blindsided her. And then she went in the jury. She, she, she was like, Andrew, if Chanel and Ashley are the final 2, I quit the jury. Anyway, where was that? Yeah, so Corey and Rhonda were blindsided. So they were like, fuck it, we'll join up with Karen and Steven. So on day 43, 43, a month ago, the day Jit was evicted, Mbop was formed. The second, in my opinion, the second best alliance name because of that song. The best alliance name will always be the Old Farts, Kat, Joanne, and Rhonda from All Stars. I love the Old Farts. It's just, yeah. Yeah, my mind is racing right now. Sorry, I just had such a great day that like everything in my brain is discombobulated. That's when Mbop was formed. They had the goal of making the Final Four, and they're the types of players that some of them, I mean, we all know who, some of them are villains, but oftentimes people who are very villainous are the most loyal to the people that they're actually loyal to. So they'll lie, cheat, and steal to everybody else, but if they're in a rock-solid group, they'll stick to it. And those 4 have been so rock-solid, and they had the power every week. Karen and Steven had the power every single week since Jit was evicted. Literally, was it Karen first? I think it was, yeah, Karen, Steven. Am I getting the order right? Yeah, Karen, Steven, Steven. Yeah. And so, as soon as Brooke and Hearn lost the veto, and you know what? I will give credit to both of them. I've been reading the DRs all day long. Brooke and Hearn have fought all day. I give them so much credit because it's so annoying when you watch people lay down and die. We've seen it happen. No offense, we've seen it a lot this season. I'm not going to name names, but 1, 2, 3... not so much that person. 3... Okay, no, not really anybody in the jury. Okay, 3 this season that really just laid down and died. And we've seen it a lot. And it sucks. And it's so refreshing that Brooke came up with a plan to try to get things to change. I'm not going to really say what the plan is because some people in the house don't know. But Brooke came up with a plan and didn't work. Then she came up with a better plan. Didn't work. Hearn had a kind of a plan. Also, I don't think worked. And it sucks because in most seasons, if you try really hard and you're a good player socially, strategically, you'll succeed. But I just feel bad because in this case, they have 1 day left in the house. Like I've never done this in 6 seasons where I basically say it's over, but it would be. There would have to be a hurricane in Saskatchewan for like that's more likely. And if like the people from America, Saskatchewan is like the middle of the country where there's like no chance of a hurricane because that comes from the water. I don't know why I have to do a science lesson, but yeah. So it's just there's just no chance, which makes this vote boring. It was supposed to be such an exciting vote, and we know exactly how the vote is going to go. So anyway. It also makes the Final Four veto competition a little boring. So nobody has asked me this. I don't know if you guys did research or not, but Season 5 in All-Stars, I changed the Final Four mechanics. And some of you, especially alumni, are probably wondering, am I going to keep that change? The change is staying because I like it. It's different to me. And I'm going to explain it as quickly as possible. I've never liked that the Final Four, the head of household, essentially has no power. It's just immunity. And so they win and then they do nothing. And the nomination ceremony at Final Four is a complete waste of time. So in my version, it's different. In my version, we have not a golden power veto in Final Four. We have a silver power veto. The silver power veto means that a nominee cannot use the veto on themselves. If you win a silver veto, you can only save the other nominee. So that means that whoever the head of household nominates in Final Four, he or she is saying to those two people, you can't save yourself. You can win the veto, but then you have to rely on saving the other person in order to stay. Now, last season, Jonathan won the veto, the silver veto, but he was the non-nominee. The person you don't put on the block, that person can save themselves with the veto. So last season, it had no effect. But this season, it won't have an effect either, because Corey and Rhonda have been together since day one. I highly doubt they're going to turn on each other, especially at Final Four. Karen and Steven have been together since the day one. I highly doubt they're going to turn on each other. So even if, let's say let's say Rhonda wins head of household. Rhonda puts up Karen and Steven. Regardless of which one wins the silver veto, even if they can't take themselves off, they'll just take the other person off, and that person will evict Corey. So the silver veto also is less. When it's 2 versus 2, the silver veto kind of makes it, I don't want to say redundant, or useless, but I mean, it has no major effect on the game. I also considered having the head of household be the sole vote to evict, but I don't know. I always like that the head of household does not vote, regardless of the circumstance. I like that the person off the block votes. So I don't know. I like the silver veto. That's what's happening next week. Yeah. The good news is, when the season started, partially because of my mental health, I wasn't thrilled with this season, because it was a slow start. Everybody was happy-go-lucky, no drama. This season was an excellent season, no question. And I'm not saying that because of Mbop, I'm saying that because of everyone. Now, regarding Mbop, the fact that they made it to the Final Four when they were formed at the Final 10, that's impressive. It's very rare that a 4-person alliance makes it to Final Four. The cookout last season of Big Brother was rare, but they only made it because of their goal of having an all black final 6. Derek and Tiffany didn't like each other, so if the race issue wasn't in play, if they were all black or all white, I think Derek and Tiffany would have taken each other out earlier. So strategically, or from a life standpoint, impressive, but strategically, I don't know if that would have happened. But what I will say is that Mbop made it to the Final Four, likely, and in Big Brother Cheesecake, we have never had a Final Four that was working together. All of the previous 5 seasons were either 2-on-2, 3-on-1, or it was just all over the place. So that's impressive. And we're going to have a very good Final 2. Because if it's Karen and Steven in Final 2, both played a similar game, and both will have to prove their case as to why they deserve to win. If Corey and Rhonda are in the Final 2, both played a similar game, and they'll both have to plead their case. If it's one of Karen and Steven and one of Corey and Rhonda, it's a different game, but the jurors, depending on how they're feeling, could go either way. And so I think, regardless, we're going to have a close final vote. Because last season, while it was fantastic, once it came down to JoJo and Chantal, I don't even know why I filmed the finale. Like, everybody knew JoJo was going to win. So, I mean, like, it was... Yeah. The only question was he going to win unanimously or not, which he didn't. He won 8-1. But, yeah. Okay, last but not least, it's time to get to the Topaz Power of Veto ceremony. Hey everyone, it's me, Steven. I just won my 4th competition in a row and my 7th overall. And Jeffrey, cool guy Jeffrey, shits ahoy! I'm coming after you, and we're gonna fuck on the poop deck when I make it and beat your competition record. Okay, Brooke, Corey, Hearn, Rhonda, I've nominated the 4 of you for double eviction, but I've also won the Topaz Power Veto, which I must use to save one of the 4 of you from the chopping block. Brooke, Hearn, I'm not going to waste your time. I really, really appreciate everything you had to say, and I really appreciated, Brooke, when in the group chat you said, "Steven, you're not an asshole, save me." That was really funny. But I've made my decision, and it's very simple. One of you lasted 21 and a half hours with me in an endurance competition, and it will not go unnoticed. I also accidentally screwed this person out of a potential win in the King of the Castle competition, so I feel like it's only in my best interest and in Mbop's best interest to use the Topaz Power Veto on Corey. Which means Brooke, Hearn, and Rhonda, you remain on the block. With that, this Topaz Power Veto ceremony is adjourned. Brooke, Hearn, and/or Rhonda, which 2 house guests will be evicted tomorrow in a double eviction, finishing in 6th and 5th place and joining Caitlin, Jonah, and Andrew on the jury? Find out tomorrow, and we will crown our final 4 head of household who will earn a spot in the final 3. I'm Andrew Shevsik, Invest. Take care, and remember, hockey pucks. What makes a puck a puck? Why is a hockey puck called a puck? There you go. Because Dirty Little Bastard was taken. Good night.